So the Boston Celtics have signed Jake Layman to a two-way contract. As you just heard my dog, she's excited about it. And I know some people are going, Jake Layman? Ugh. So I'm from Maryland. Well, I was born in Minnesota, lived in Florida, and then spent about 12 years in Maryland. And I almost went to the University of Maryland, and I used to be huge before going to University of Kansas, and I was a huge Jake Layman, Melo Trimble, and Diamond Stone. Melo Trimble has turned into a star overseas, okay? And Diamond Stone, I haven't kept up with him much, but Jake Layman was a guy that we all were like, he's literally Chandler Parsons, okay? He could become Chandler Parsons, like the good Chandler Parsons, not the Chandler Parsons that everyone jokes about. And for me, he's a guy that we just kept on we gave him a full guaranteed deal, and literally every year we just gave him less and less minutes. And the crazy part is Jake Layman, the season that he played his most in was his last year with the Portland Trailblazers, which for me, I really liked Jake Layman in his first year here in Minnesota. And in Minnesota, pre-All-Star break, in like 14 games, when he was traded there, he was averaging 10.5 points on 35% from three, shooting 4 attempts from night, okay? It was awesome. And another thing was Jake Layman, when he was over on the Trailblazers, he was a guy that he played starting small forward, and he started at the guard spot 7 games for them. But as a starting forward for the Portland Trailblazers, I know he's on a training camp deal, in 18 minutes a night in 26 games as a starting forward. He shot 39% from 3 on 2 attempts a night. Yeah, it was 6 points, 3 rebounds. But still, he's a guy that I think could, have an impact if utilized correctly. And yes, I know everybody's like, when is Melo signing? Well, they've said Melo isn't probably going to sign till after training camp because they want to see who they have on the roster. So for me, Jake Layman could be the guy that they've been looking for, if not better. I know a lot of people aren't Jake Layman fans. I don't know why. Like, why do people not like Jake Layman? He's a good player. He's a guy that I found over the years has been rather fun to watch. And I know, honestly, if you're like me, Jake Layman's a guy who I think hasn't fully been able to be given the opportunity that I think he's deserving of. But really, I think he's a guy who could come in and make some noise as a basketball player for this squad. So this is definitely where I want to hear your thoughts down below if you guys are Jake Layman fans. And let me get to the second part of this.
All right, you already saw the intro of this video. I'm actually here in the fraternity bathroom, but I'm actually going to move because it probably sounds better acoustics right here. So with that being said, Jake Layman's a guy who's compared his game to Chandler Parsons. Jake Layman's best years, was in 2018 to 2019 when he shot almost 51% from the field and like 33% for the Trailblazers, averaging like 7.6 points. That led to him signing a 3-year deal with my Minnesota Timberwolves, which, I've said this all in the beginning. And that first year with Minnesota, we saw what he could do. And he's basically like the poor man's version, the light version of Chandler Parsons. He's a guy that's going to come in and be able to do stuff without the ball in his hands. Really, the thing that has held him back from having a successful NBA career is for a guy that coming into the NBA, we thought he was going to be a shooter, a good spot-up shooter. He has been inconsistent shooting the ball. There's some games where I'll have like a 2 to 3 to 5 game stretch where he's shooting amazing, but then you'll go 10, 15, 20 games where he can't hit the right side of the bar. And that's nothing against him, like Jake Layman. And he's not a terrible defender, but he has deficiencies and limitations due to his, not being an elite athlete or the longest guys. He's a small forward, power forward, and he's an adequate rebounder. He's not going to blow you away, but for the wing position and from the power forward position, he's adequate. But again, he's not going to be a guy who's going to set the world on fire rebounding the ball, nor is he going to be a guy who's going to score. He's going to give 7 to 10 points a night. It's not going to be too crazy, and I think it's definitely something that, look, he could be. He's going on this team because they need to find a guy to alleviate the loss of Danilo Gallinari. And we all know Carmelo is the main option, but they're seeing that they want to see the guys on the roster, Sam Hauser, Bruno Caboclo, Jake Layman. Okay, these are all guys that they want to see on this roster. Maifandu, Cavangeli, all guys that they're trying to figure out, will these guys actually have an impact on this roster and be able to help us win games? And I think they look at Jake Layman and they're like, okay, Jake Layman's a guy that when you look at his player profile, he's a guy, all right, he can pass, he can slash to the basket, he can move in transition. He's a guy that you want to give him the ball, the spot up shoot fits there. And yes, they have Sam Hauser, but what they thought, what Matt Ryan and Sam Hauser are able to do, Jay Layman, in theory, is we've seen him be a really good three-point shooter when he was at the University of Maryland. And you guys know me being from, I almost went to the University of Maryland, and I was a huge Maryland basketball fan before I went to the University of Kansas, and definitely something I want to see with Jake Layman. Would I love for him to be on the Boston Celtics? Of course, and he fits it. Okay, he's something that they very much want. He's a guy that fits the system, the scheme that they're looking for. So that's definitely something I want to hear. And yeah, so let me hear your thoughts down below. That's basically the video. Hope you guys do have a great day. And yeah, peace out.